Call this meeting to order for the Silent Springs Planning Commission for Tuesday, February 11th, 2025. Roll call, please.
T. Williams.
Here.
Sally.
Here.
McKinney.
Here.
Thomas.
Here.
Sutton.
Here.
Renard.
Here.
K. Williams.
Here. Everyone would stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First thing on the agenda tonight's approval of the minutes from last meeting. While reviewing them, I did notice an error in item G5. Shows T. Williams made the motion to deny the item and McKinney seconded. It was, if I'm remembering correctly, it was Chris Sally made the motion. So that will need corrected. Directors or commissioners, was there anything else that was in the minutes that you noticed? If not, do I have motion to accept to approve the minutes with the correction made?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
T. Williams.
Yes.
Sally.
Yes.
McKinney.
Yes.
Thomas.
Yes.
Sutton.
Yes.
Renard.
Yes.
K. Williams.
Yes. Next on the agenda, final plat change development permit FPC 25-01. Ben.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the Planning Commission. Ben Rhodes, Senior Planner. Before you is a final plat change permit. This is at 2270 Don Hill Road. As you can see there, this is the property that's located just to the north of the First Baptist Church, zoned R2. And the applicant is seeking to finalize the last phase of Heritage Ranch. This is phase 5, which will complete the development. We did look up, and phase 1 was started in 2004, so this is finally being finished. So here we see the plat in question. I'll just point out a few features on here. The change is, the reason that this is coming before you, as you know, most final plats don't go to Planning Commission. They go straight to the Board of Directors unless there is a change from the corresponding preliminary plat. There was a minor change, and you might remember from looking at phase 4, this was sort of the same issue, but the applicant had purchased some land, a very small sliver of land. It's on the north side of those lots that was not shown on the preliminary plat. So it's a very minor change, but it is a change nonetheless. These lots have grown in size because of that. It's affecting lots 28 through 31. Phase 4, as you might recall, did go to the Planning Commission, and you did review the lots that were enlarged further down on the west side of Hondo Street at that time. That phase 4 was reviewed on August 2024 with recommendation for approval by the Planning Commission. Plat note indicating the lots backing to the existing house on the northeast corner, and the house is right there, was included. Those were shown on the preliminary plat, and the note simply states that there will not be a 2-story house, and that's because of the way the lots sit. They kind of sit up on a ridge, and it would really create kind of an overarching presence of those lots onto the neighboring lots. So we really didn't want to keep them as single-story homes for just those 2 lots. The conditions stated here, the plat does need to be filed within 45 days. That is not a Scrivener's error. That is supposed to be crossed out for the 2-year maintenance bond. That's because that has been fulfilled at this time, so it's no longer a needed condition. Each lot needs to be graded to drain, matching the grading plan as approved by the city, and that's needed prior to building permit issuance. And one last condition, it's a little unusual, but also related to some of the screening that we're requiring, that the lots 28 and 19 and 18 include cypress trees that would screen along the edge. And the exact wording of that conditions is listed in your staff report. That was a direct carryover from the preliminary plat. It was kind of negotiated at the time of the preliminary plat when it came through. So we just want to make sure it gets carried over onto the final plat. With that, you see have our staff findings. That does meet all the minimum requirements of the city code with the suggested conditions. And we're available for any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Ben. Is there any comments or questions from the members of the public? Yes, sir. Come to the podium. State your name and address, and you'll have 3 minutes.
Hello, my name is Aaron Figueroa. I live in 407 West Fitchburg Street here in Siloam. And the reason I'm here is just, I got this letter in the mail. I don't oppose to the development that's going on. I'm more here, to offer some of my services, whoever could help me or send me the right direction, do concrete services and stuff. So they're
Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, the applicant, the topic, staff recommends that it stays on the topic itself. The offering of services at the microphone may have issues because there may be other people that have those services and it may not be appropriate.
Okay, understood. Was that all you had, was offering services?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that would probably be something, can they come to the planning office and get a list of
That's correct.
people
If they
they
want-
can
if you-
send
if-
in that information to?
If he would like to come to my office, then we can give him any of the publicly available data.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Anyone else? If not, commissioners, do you have any questions or concerns? Was this when the cypress trees we talked about on this, was this the one where we had minimum height of the tree?
I believe we had put that in the actual condition, but let me look that up about what the size of the tree would be that would be planted. Is that what you were asking?
Right.
Okay.
It seems like we had that discussion. And I didn't see it in what I read through.
I don't believe that it was actually included, but if you wanted to, again, the condition is just a suggested condition. So if the planning commission wanted to specify the tree height, you can do so with the motion if you want to.
Because I know last time we didn't want them to do like a 2-foot little tree and wait for it to grow 20 feet. But I thought we'd come up with a minimum height. Yeah,
I had a question on that myself, because on this, it shows that the trees will be at maturity about 30 feet. But that type of tree actually goes to 60 to 70 feet in maturity and about 25 foot wide. And they're very susceptible to dying if they're planted too close together. So that was a concern I had, just on those trees.
I'll also speak that these type of trees you could also see on Highway 16, where you
Right.
see a bunch of them died because they were so close together. Yeah.
I know they're a fast-growing tree, but to get to that height, if they're like 2 foot tall when they're planted, it's more than a couple years. And I don't know whose responsibility it is to take care of them once they're planted, if they are just going to ever have a chance to get to that height, or if just nature takes its course once they're planted. So it seems like we had set a minimum of 4 feet to start with. How would we put that in the condition?
It can be amended to state the applicant shall plant Leland cypress trees of a height no less than 4 feet, and then stay spaced no more than so many feet apart. It's currently stated at 7 feet apart, but
Which I am definitely not an arborist, so I don't know what those numbers should be.
do you have any?
From what I read, the trees should be no more than 10 feet apart, or more than 10 feet apart. 12 to 15 is better for the size that they'll have.
But minimum of 10 feet.
Yes.
I mean, just, Mr. Chairman, the reason we put 7 foot was because we were trying to achieve the screening thing. I
Right.
mean, if you do have them, 10, 15 feet apart, it's doubtful they'll ever create an actual screen because there'll be gaps between the trees.
Not at maturity, they won't. When they're growing, it will be. But if you plant them too close together, they're going to die out. Then you're going to have gaps later in maturity.
I understand both sides of things of it's like early on, how much screen do we want compared to later on if there's screen to be left, which I know we can't predict the future, and I wonder if nobody's taking care of them, how they're going to do from the future. So it's kind of a best effort on our part and the builder's part to provide some screening for the people next door. So I guess if the people next door are happy with the 7.5 feet and 4 feet, that would probably give them more screening early on as opposed to maturity. And if they did start getting overcrowded, maybe one could be removed or something. Yeah, not being arborist, I'm not sure how those things go. Thoughts, ideas, any more?
Mr. Chairman, I think our intent is understood. I just don't think we have an idea of how far apart they should be that we can state that. Maybe if we at least state that they're between 4 and 6 feet in height and a minimum of 7 feet, maybe that helps if you put that in a condition. Because I think we could talk about it for a long time about whether or not, but we don't really know.
Right. And without having somebody that really knows trees and landscaping and stuff like that, I think we can do the minimum 4 feet, 7.5 feet apart, but I think when if we could get some more information when it goes before the board, from somebody with that kind of knowledge, I think that would be helpful in making that final decision even for the board members. Is that doable?
Mr. Chair, can I speak?
Yes, ma'am.
So we do have a tree list in our code, and it does specify the minimum spacing requirements based on the species. It goes through all the details of it. I'm not 100% sure that this type of tree is in that list. I would have to look through it, but I can look through that before the board meeting and see if we have it listed in our code, what the minimum spacing is for that.
Okay. I just want them to know that we are doing our due diligence to make sure they're presented with information as it moves on also, that we're not just, passing things. So are we good with the minimum 4 feet and minimum 7.5 feet with further information to be presented to the board if we can find more definite? Okay, so do we include that in the motion?
Mr. Chair, Chris
Yes.
Paxton, Community Development Director, so if you just move this forward to the board, I can just assure that we can have that information to the, whenever it goes to the board, we'll include that in the board presentation. I think that by clarifying it in this meeting, we can make sure that it gets in the minutes, and that would make it where it's not new information when it gets to the board, so it wouldn't have to be remanded back to the Planning Commission. So if you just wanted to make a motion without that information, then we can just ensure that it goes in the minutes for this meeting and that it'll go into the board packet.
Okay, so then we can make a motion as is, but then the discussion with the heights and distances will be in the board packet.
That's correct. I can direct staff to do that.
Okay. Okay, do I have a motion? Ooh, I've lost my list of numbers.
I'd make a motion to approve FPC 2501 with staff stated conditions.
Have a second. Second. I have a motion and a second to approve FPC 2501. Roll call, please.
T. Williams,
Yes.
Sally,
Yes.
McKinney,
Yes.
Thomas,
Yes.
Sutton,
Yes,
Renard,
Yes.
K. Williams.
Yes. That will go before the board on March 4th, 2025. Next up, easement acceptances. Megan. Pulling double duty tonight.
Okay, so we just have three this time. So we have 1300 block of North Britt Street, 1303 Brashears Road, and then 708 North Wright Street. So we have 2 lot line adjustments and 1 lot split. You're just accepting easements, and I'm available for any questions that you have.
Megan, are there any questions on the easement acceptances? If not, do I have a motion to accept the easement acceptances as presented?
Mr. Chairman, I move we accept the easement acceptance as presented.
Second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
T. Williams,
Yes.
Sally,
Yes.
McKinney,
Yes.
Thomas,
Yes.
Sutton,
yes,
Renard,
Yes.
K. Williams.
Yes. Next up, board and staff approved permits.
Okay, so I'm just going to tell you on the February 18th Board of Directors meeting, we do have a couple of things. So you've already seen the other 2 that are third readings. So that's the right-of-way vacation request and the annexation request for Winding Springs. Those ones will be wrapping up on February 18th. And then Siloam Community Gardens, their easement vacate will have its first reading at February 18th Board of Directors. And then we have a couple of staff announcements. So the February 11th Plan Development Review Committee has been canceled. We did not receive any submittals this month, so we will not have that meeting. March 11th Board of Adjustments has also been canceled. Again, we didn't receive any submittals, so we will not have that meeting. And then we also have the February 20th UDC, that's our Unified Development Code public input meeting, which will be at the Siloam Springs Library. That's on February 20th at what time, Ben?
4 to 6.
4 to 6. So come out, we'll have all that UDC stuff there. We got a lot of changes, so come and participate. Thanks.
Thank you, Megan. On the UDC meeting, is any of that information someplace where it's reviewable at this point?
We don't have it online yet, but the meeting, it's not going to be a formal presentation style meeting. It'll be more of a drop-in style. What we'll do is we'll have boards up on the different sections that we're in the broad sweep of some of the changes, and then we'll have the actual a version of the code available to look at the meeting. It's over 200 pages, so we're not going to be handing them out to hundreds of copies to people, but we will have the code available. And I haven't talked to Chris yet about this, but I imagine we would post it online at some point to to allow for the public to kind of dive into it if you want to have some nice bedside reading. So,
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
I did have one announcement, if I may. I was not able to attend the January meeting. I did want to announce that I was able to promote Megan Thomas from Planner 1 to Planner 2 in January. Her new title is Current Planner.
Yay.
Congratulations, Megan.
I'd also just include that we were able to backfill and hire a new planner, so we will have a new planner joining our team, and I'll introduce that new planner to you at the next meeting.
Awesome. I know you've been looking for a day or two. Now if we can find an engineer. Commissioners, do you have any other questions or comments? If not, I will accept a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? We are adjourned.